to know someone deeply in this day and age can be overwhelming and confusing, as nowadays texting seems to be the go-to method in getting to know someone. It's fun to text, and it's fun to use those emojis, and it's fun to share yourself with others in a text, as it's an easy form of communication. You can edit your words, delete what you want to say, you can say it better, and you can share your values and your hopes and dreams with someone uninterrupted. As much as texting benefits, texting should never replace those face-to-face or telephone conversations. But when it does, it is a red flag to let you know that your relationship is a superficial one and that you are possibly entering into what is called a textingship. This is only one of many red flags within the texting realm of forming relationships. In this video, I will share with you some key red flags to look out for so you can discern for yourself that someone, the person on the other side of the text, is just wasting your time. Why would someone want to waste your time, you may ask? I mean, isn't your time just as valuable as theirs? Yes, it is. But to those who are using texting as their go-to form of communication, not so much, as they don't value your time as being precious, as they are all focused on what matters to them. The individual who uses texting to form relationships has a different agenda and motive than you do. And they will not see what they are doing as wasting your time, but they see it as baiting you, hooking you with words to keep you hooked, as you texting them is used as an alternate supply for them, as these red flags that I'm about to share with you will reveal to you the true intentions of the person you are talking to on the other side of the texting conversation. Hello, my name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am a Christian peer support mentor, life coach, and author, helping you to see life through a practical biblical lens, through the perspective of been there, done that, don't want to do that again. Thank you very much. I share this approach with you as I take you down the rabbit hole of human nature to help you discover inner peace through inner healing. Now in today's video, we are going to crush narcissism on its head by exposing and calling out, and no pun intended, the texting narcissist who hides behind the curtain of words to avoid being called out, quite literally, on the phone or face-to-face. Now I have some key red flags to share with you to help you let go of the internet lagging textual guru who only has your attention for one purpose and one purpose only. That is for their own selfish gain. People who do not care about you will hide behind words that for you may carry weight, but for them, their words hold no truth. They are empty and meaningless. And what they say is all in vain for you, as using this is just a way to, I wouldn't say it's not game playing, but it's just a form of attention seeking. They hook you unaware, when in reality they keep everything at a superficial level, and that is why for them it is so easy, as it is the easiest to maintain the facade and their true intentions, because texting just makes it easier, as it's fun for them. Having to date you or develop a relationship with you in person and using the phone is doable for the narcissist, but it is contingent on the type of person they are seeking the attention from. If you are or have developed a relationship with someone exclusively over texting, then that lets you know that there is a deliberate motivation on their part. They see you as someone that is not so easily manipulated. They see you as a conquest and as a challenge, yes, as they see everyone as objects. And they're not so sure that they can overcome the challenge that you bring through traditional means. They have a more sly and conniving approach, as they use texting as a last resort with people like you. Because people like you, in reality, in person, would not like people like them. You two just would not hang out in the same social circles. So texting is the only way to keep you around for no benefit except to serve their narcissistic tendencies, and those tendencies are inadequate. So here are some red flags to be aware of when you begin texting someone. Or if you are already in a texting ship, then it's always a good idea to look at these red flags and reflect on how these signs have been missed. A narcissist is always consistent in specific social patterns, and texting makes it easier for them to keep up appearances. So red flag number 1, they pour on the sugar. A narcissist hides behind their words in all cases, whether it is face-to-face, over the phone, or in personal communication through text. They are consistent across the platforms where they will show you some sweetness and pour on the sugar just to grab your attention. They will lavish you with compliments. They will hook you with those savory sweetness of kind words, all just to flatter you. They will pour it on like thickened honey, and they don't know when to quit. They do not know how to regulate these compliments, and they will be repetitive in those compliments. They won't share anything new and amazing and discovery about you with you. They will keep it all superficial. They use the kiss message. They use the kiss method. Keep it simple, stupid. As they keep conversation light according to what they see and what they know. They will say things like, "You're so smart. You are so strong. Oh my goodness. You are so funny. You're so wise. You are so nice. Oh, thank you. You are so kind." But they won't share with you how or what makes you all these things. They won't elaborate. And they won't really get to the nuts and bolts of it all and share with you what makes you smart and why they appreciate about your strong and what they appreciate about your strong nature. They don't share with you because they just don't know, because they just don't care. You will notice that the texting between the two of you is fast and furious. Oh, it's regular at the beginning, as it's regular all the time at any time of the day. They may spend their weekend getting to know you in text and devote hours or all day to communicate with you in text. And this is simply to establish a routine with you. They give you too much of their time to you. They offer you too many compliments too soon. And this is all in attempts to direct and guide your thoughts and behaviors that force you to make them your focal point of attention. Red flag number 2, hot and cold. When the narcissist has poured on the sugar, when they have made great attempts to show you that you have their attention, when they have wet your whistle, so to speak, of offering you flattering words, and they give you their time, one day, out of the blue, they will just stop. They will go quiet, as their texting may be sporadic throughout the day, or maybe you won't hear from them at all. Their compliments are less and less, and their texting is just flat and boring. And when you hear from them, the flattery and the high regard that they held you in is little to non-existent, as it's barely a murmur. The narcissist does this for a multitude of reasons, and one of those, in my humble opinion, could be a way of projecting. Maybe their other supply has ghosted them or ignored them, or they're disappointed with someone else and they can't punish that person, or maybe they are, maybe they're feeling so low about themselves, but they go through you to make themselves feel better. It is a means to put you in your place, as it's a means to put the other person in their place and establish dominance across the board. Or it could be simply because they are entertaining someone else and they are making time for that person as they made time for you. The narcissist, they can't devote their time between other people and delegate it between friends and delegate their time between friends. They dedicate their time to one person of importance at one time during the day or specific moments in their lives where that person is most needed and valuable to them. So if they aren't paying attention to you, they're paying attention to somebody else. They can't delegate their time and give proportionately time between the two of you. Red flag number 3, they are evasive. They say a lot, but what they say doesn't hold a lot of meaning. Their evasive nature causes you to question that you are not so sure what they are saying. They are hard to read, and this is because you cannot hear their intention. You can't do this in text. You do not know the emotional effects they are sharing with you in text because you can't use your filters of seeing or hearing their emotion within their voice. And you are left to rely entirely on their texts. And this can leave you feeling unsure as to what their true intentions are, as you don't understand their motives. So narcissists like to use the air of mystique and intrigue to their advantage. It is, after all, a way that catches our attention in any relationship. However, the narcissist uses this aloofness to manipulate your thinking and your emotions. It sets you off balance, wondering, as this puts the narcissist front row and center at the helm of control. This allows them to manipulate and dominate you in the relationship. Red flag number 4, ghosting. Ghosting is the go-to disappearing act of the narcissist. They can be engaged in a texting conversation with you, and as you are responding, they close down their chat app and walk away from their phone. They know that you're texting them, and they, for their own reasons, just decide, nah, I'm done talking. I'm bored. I've had enough. What's on TV? The narcissist has a mind of a squirrel. Whatever gets their attention, they will gravitate to. And the squirrel, well, it hoards nuts. I mean, when you see them out and about outside, what are they doing? They're looking for nuts, and they're digging a hole to bury their morsels in. And many buried treasures are never to be found again by those squirrels. They're found by another squirrel. So keep that in mind. The mind of the narcissist is easily bored, easily distracted. They talk to you when they are ready, when they are bored in life, and they pick up the phone their phone to only open the chat app to say to themselves, let's see what so-and-so is up to today. They will then hook you with one of their catchphrases, hello, beautiful. And if you respond to that, they know that you are still hanging around, and that gives them a smile to say, they still like me. Ghosting is a go-to thing for the narcissist because they know how it works, and they know it works. They may ghost you for hours, days, weeks, months, and even years. They do this so easily because they have no empathy. They do not care about anything that you are getting out of the relationship. Nada, zilch, nothing. They hold no consideration towards your feelings at all. They don't consider that you might be bored too, but you care about them enough to hold a conversation because what they hold valuable and important is important to you. You are respectful, and you are not dismissive that way. The other person, on the other hand, does not think like you. They ghost you for their own reasons, for their own desires, and for their own selfish self-motivations. Red flag number 4, caring, not caring. The narcissist shows care without compassion in texts, and in general, actually. But in texts, how you know they are faking caring about you is that they just check in and they ask to make sure that your life is stable enough for them so that you can carry on and can continue to fulfill the needs of the narcissist. They may ask you, "Are you okay? Do you need anything? I thought I would ask. I know you're okay, but I just want you to know that I'm always here for you, okay? So ask me anytime." Now, these are superficial words meant to lead you to assume that the narcissist has your back, that they're there for you whenever you need. But backing these words up with their ghosting, their breadcrumbing, their in it to win it, their all or nothing kind of stance with you, that lets you know that they're just manipulating you to keep you around for as long as they need you. Now, these types of texts are inconsistent and don't line up with what the narcissist has said in the past. So remember, because this texting relationship, you cannot go by the actions of the narcissist. With texting, they don't have to follow through, and this keeps you hoping, wishing, and waiting. And when the time comes that you really do need them, they're not there because they have ghosted you and are deliberately ignoring your texts. When they see that you do reach out and there's that little number beside their text app, they know it's you. And they know that you're reaching out, but they don't care. They are ignoring you for their own reasons based on their personality disorder and dysfunction. Red flag number 5. Who goes first? Have you ever noticed that you might be the one to offer a break in the silence with your text to them? Maybe you're the one who's always texting good morning or good night. Maybe you're always reaching out more frequently than they do in text. Have you ever noticed that it just seems to be a battle of power between the two of you? The narcissist will not be the one to cave in breaking the silence between you by saying hello first. If they do, it has meaning, as it's because they are unsure of where you stand with them, and they may assume that you are talking to somebody else, and maybe they assume that you have them pegged to rights, that you know them and you see them for who they are, so they can't take the risk of losing you just yet because they still need you, so they will break the silence first when it is convenient for them, when it's meaningful. The narcissist, they like to be chased by nature, and there is a difference between being chased and pursued. Chasing is a sign of desperation. They will only chase you if they feel you pulling back, or they haven't fully and completely gained your undivided attention. This waiting on you or holding out is a power move, and it's a power grab in attempts to control you. Do you have any comments, questions, or suggestions so far? Comment down below and let me know what your experiences with texting red flags are. So before we get on to red flag number 6, I'd like to give a shout out to Sergio, a loyal viewer who has often contributed to this channel with their own questions and comments. Thank you. Today, I'd like to share this comment in a previous video that he made. The narcissist likes to isolate and separate us from our friends and family. And when our friends and family give us advice, somehow we end up taking the lead of the narcissist and negating the loving advice. Sergio has stated to this comment that I just shared with you, and I quote, "They somehow make you care less about the people that really matter in your life." Yes, they do. And this is what trauma bonding does. We are bound to the narcissist through trauma, and we are led to believe that the narcissist does have our best interests at heart. I think we end up caring less about the people that really matter most to us because the narcissist has caused us the greatest damage in here. When we care less about ourselves in here, we care less about those who want to see us achieve success. When we care less about ourselves, we end up giving up on ourselves. We become defeated, and we then turn to self-sabotage. And this is such a great tragedy. But this is what the narcissist wants. Because when this happens, they have been effective, as they have been instrumental in dismantling us by projecting their inner hate that they have for themselves onto us, leading us to believe that we hate ourselves. They hate themselves so much that they have to get rid of it because they can't live with it. They project that hate onto us by dismantling our good, kind, and perfect, caring nature. They force us to give up on ourselves because that is exactly what they have done. They have given up on themselves to the point where they refuse to change, and that is why they have to take pieces of people and reinvent themselves because they are so broken inside. They force us to feel the same brokenness. But what happens is when we finally leave the narcissist, we begin to heal. We retreat inwardly to self-reflect. The narcissist cannot self-reflect. When they look inwardly, all they see is obscurity, and then they begin to self-destruct. They enter in a phase called narcissistic collapse, and I do have a video on this on my YouTube channel. So when they enter into narcissistic collapse, they then are abandoned, as they are abandoned by people, and they feel that no one is around to help build them up. Then they are the ones who self-destruct. We who turn to self-sabotage, this is self-destruction for a time, but it only appears that we are self-destructing. It's the fight in us that has been repressed. And when the narcissist is gone, we turn to self-resiliency and self-reliancy, and we become stronger more than we ever could have been before. So thank you, Sergio, for that pause for thought. Your comment has been very helpful, so thank you for sharing. If you want to offer your comments, questions, and suggestions, please just comment down below in the comment section of this video. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Red flag number 6. The narcissist is too revealing. Have you ever had a narcissist tell you the integrity that they have? Have they ever bragged to you about how honest they are? Well, they can't show you in text because texting is so impersonal. So they have to tell you how good they are. They have to share with you the accolades that they have, those stories that they share to prove to you that they are full of integrity and honesty. They can't let you see the lack of integrity and honesty that they really do have, so they embellish with stories. They tell you who they are in attempts to get you to start thinking along those lines that you believe them, so that when they do disappoint you or fail you in some way, you will fall back to their stories, and you will fall back onto the spoken bond of trust that they formed with you. They overcompensate, as this is a form of projection. To overcompensate is defined as this: take excessive measures in attempting to correct or make amends for an error, a weakness, or a problem. And narcissists by nature are weak. The narcissist knows who they are. They know their track record with people, and they know how they feel about themselves, and they know how people really do feel about them. So they try to keep you from discovering who they truly are by leading you to believe someone whom they are not. When they reveal to you who they truly are, you let it go. You overlook and dismiss the reality as merely a mistake or a slip-up, something that they didn't mean to do. And they monopolize on this. See, people who walk in integrity are who they are. They don't have to announce it. They don't have to tell you. They let you find out through the consistency in their words and their actions. Red flag number 7. The narcissist is stuck on the situation of repeat, that repeats the narrative about themselves. Your texting partner loves to make themselves the focal point of attention and your affection. They love to brag and boast about themselves. They have a way of turning everything back onto their achievements and accomplishments. They remind you of the things that they have done and the great name that they have made for themselves. There's no humility in their sharing with you. They want you to stand in awe of them. And when you talk about yourself, oh, they may listen, but it isn't listening to understand or comprehend you. They listen to see if your achievements stand up to theirs. They view you as competition, and any topic of the conversation, serious or not, they can always find a way to have it circle back on themselves as they use their high accolades as a praise and an excuse to give you reason as to why they do the things that they do and why you should not see them in a negative way if you challenge them in any way. If you bring up a challenging topic, that challenges their character for sure, and they will find a way to give an account of how they have done all of this and achieved all of that in attempts to get you to back down, shut down, and just stop picking them apart. They don't need to grow because in their mind, they are at the highest level in personal achievement with their certificates and their medals and their high honorable discharges in the public and professional fields that have magnified their name. The texting narcissists, they don't know how to stop. They love to talk about themselves. They will talk and talk and talk about themselves with every single opportunity for as long as you listen. And let me say this, asking them questions about themselves, oh, that's just going to feed the beast. This just adds to it as this gives them bragging rights to continue on and 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 echo. And when you finally do share, they ask you no questions, they give you no credit, they give you no accolades, they do not stand in admiration for your accomplishments, and it is because you just don't matter to them, as you will never, ever, 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 ever measure up, my dear. When you allow them to talk about themselves all the time, they actually believe you are lapping it up and soaking it in and buying into what they have to say about themselves as they just keep building themselves up and up and up and up and up and text to you, and it never stops. Red flag number 8. No questions asked. You know the saying, don't ask me any questions and I'll tell you no lies? Well, with the narcissist, they will never ask you questions because they don't want to know your truth. They want you to ask them questions so that they can tell you lies about themselves that paint them in a shining light with you. But when it comes to you and your turn to share, oh, they ask you nothing or very, very little about yourself. And what happens is you end up volunteering information about yourself, to which they then come back and share information about themselves to you. By you sharing yourself with them, gives them an open invitation to share more about themselves and share the same story, just worded differently. And this is extremely invalidating to you, as you opening up and sharing gives them the opportunity for you to validate themselves as they continue to share their stories with you repeatedly. They want to keep reminding you by reminding themselves of just how good they really are and how you will never ever measure up to them. Red flag number 9. Lazy texts expose the shallow heart. Texting for the narcissist is the path of least resistance. They can offer you breadcrumbs and compliments, and what you give to them in return is your undivided attention. The texter hooks you with love bombing and keeps the conversation superficial or self-focused because they cannot relate to you. There is no sharing to understand. There is not a mutual agreement in your texting. All they want is for you to understand them because your attention makes them feel wanted and needed and successful. There is no heart or soul in the conversation as there's no depth. They are superficial and shallow and will never get in touch with their feelings or yours, as they will never probe your feelings, but instead they will lean towards physical conversations to portray an appearance of connectedness. You know, those superficial physical conversations that I had a dream about you last night. Guess what I'm feeling right now between the sheets. These things, the narcissist, they construct because that's how they think. They think you think superficially and shallow as well. You cannot connect with an emotional, you cannot connect on an emotional level, and they keep the conversation catchphrases light and superficial, such as, "Hi, beautiful." And they may offer an, "I miss you, I'm lonely tonight." They give this to you once in a while just to see if you are still interested. They are testing your silence too, as you wait for them to respond to your last text or the important issues you alluded to in 3 texts prior. They will evade, elude, deflect, and gloss over anything that has substance and meaning. This lets you know not to expect too much from the narcissistic texter. Red flag number 10. Word salad is the mainstay of the day. Narcissists who hide behind texting love to use your messenger as a way to send you long and drawn-out texts that lack depth, that lack meaning, and are off topic and incongruent, but direct the subject back onto themselves. They are full of inconsistencies. They have a lack of commitments in their long texts to you. They are full of empty promises, and they give you the reasons why they can't, the reasons why they can, the reasons why they should or shouldn't, as these word salad commentaries are meant to make you focus your attention on them as they circle back on their needs, their desires, their accomplishments, their way of thinking, their hopes, their needs. And you have nothing to do with the partnership, as they only use you as a sounding board. They may give you half-hearted apologies, or they may give you no apology at all. And they bulldoze the conversation to deflect away from your feelings of hurt and neglect as they turn their words from excuse to reason and these long drawn-out theses on how they are the way they are and how it's going to be and why it is the way that it is. This only gives you a synopsis of how the relationship will continue in the future, leading to Nowheresville. Oh, and when you give long texts to explain yourself appropriately, oh, you're met with, "Well, you didn't need to say all that." And your intentions within your texts are ignored, and a rebuttal is often sent with the words directing you to take notice of their greatness again as they continue to share with you repeated stories of how great thou art. Red flag number 11. Selfies, or they ask for selfies of you in compromising and inappropriate situations. The narcissists, well, they have no boundaries, and when they assume that you are in a relationship with them through text, They then believe that they have every right to ask you for a specific picture of you in a specific pose or attire that they want to see you in. They will often test the waters and see how far they can go with you and send you a picture of themselves in a way that is a sexual innuendo or even sexual compromising. They love to send you selfies and videos of themselves and share with you what they are doing throughout the day to cause you to feel left out on purpose. If you're missing them, then that implies that you need them. It's those wish you were here kind of moments, but not really, in those pictures and videos that help to hook you into staying nostalgic towards the narcissist, as they need to tighten those heartstrings should you be considering of walking away or talking to somebody else. They want you to really take a look at what you are walking away from them if you decide to leave. Texting with someone is another form of communication. However, it should not be the only form of communication, as this is something your relationship should never be dependent on exclusively. If it is, then please consider walking away. The narcissist hides behind texting, as it is a way where they can hide in plain sight, as it is the means to control and manipulate your time, to waste your time, so that you become trauma-bound to them in a way that has you relying on their text as a means of love and support. The narcissist cannot give up themselves to you in any way that you give yourself to others. Texting is superficial, as it allows them to easily pretend to be someone whom they are not. When you fall for someone who lives a lie, you begin to believe the lie as truth and allow the truth to be placed by the wayside. Setting aside your truth is self-defeating, as it is self-sabotaging, as it is self-limiting. The narcissist wants you all to themselves as a means to control you. They do not love you because they have no empathy. Someone who truly cares will take the time to get to know you, slowly and carefully, as they will want to be your friend, your ally, your partner, and your advocate. A texting narcissist is a serial texter. They hide behind the words that they say as they manipulate the words that you say in attempts to keep you from letting them go, as they see your value only as a source of fuel. The serial texter does not have your best interests at heart, and how you can know this is to ask yourself these important questions. What does respect mean and look like to you? And is the narcissistic texter treating you with respect? Have they been honest and clear with their intentions and feelings towards you? And have you been honest and clear with your intentions towards them and have been negated and feel invalidated? What boundaries have you two discussed together that is important for your relationship? Do they genuinely want to know you, or are they dismissive? And do they invalidate your feelings with emotional vacancy? Are they emotionally and physically available for you? Do they make time out for you when it's convenient for them or when it's inconvenient for them? Do they step over your boundaries? Do you let them overstep the boundaries with you? If you answered yes to some or all of these questions, you can be sure that you are dealing with a narcissist, no matter what kind of context goes on between the two of you in your relationship. Understand that you give up your control the minute you assume that the text is innocent. And this is where the narcissist gets his or her in. If they can control your mind and your heart, you can be controlled to serve their needs while causing you to neglect yourself. You owe it to yourself to be the best that you can be for yourself and for others. Yes, texting is the way of things in this modern age, but it isn't the only way. Even in long-distance relationships, communicating by voice and video is more important than ever. And if you are being prevented from the freedom of expressing yourself, to express your love to this person in these ways through video and phone calls, You, my dear, are being abused because manipulation is a form of abuse and should never, ever, 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 ever be tolerated. In this video, you have learned of some clear red flags to recognize when you find yourself talking with someone who shows you little interest. Understand these red flags to help you guard your heart and mind is a part of the self-improvement process, as these are also empowering when you act on them by saying to the narcissist, "No, thank you," and you stop communication before it goes too far. You are important and you are valuable. Today you have learned how to crush narcissism on its head by keeping your wits about you, by thinking with your head logically, and not allowing the narcissist to lead you by guiding your heart into situations they have no business taking leadership in. You are worthy of love because you are wonderfully and fearfully made. Own that, as you are someone to celebrate, my friend. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, as you will help to get this video to those who need to see and hear it. Thank you for watching. Be blessed.